Most people remember Watch Dogs 1 as Aiden Pearce's revenge story, a tale about a hacker taking justice into his own hands after his niece, Lena, is killed. But buried beneath the explosions, hacking, and citywide chaos is a quieter, more tragic story. The story of Nicole Pearce, Aiden's sister, and how she becomes the emotional anchor for everything that happens in Chicago. Nicole isn't a hacker, she's not part of DedSec, and she's not chasing revenge, yet she pays the price for every decision Aiden makes. From the moment the game begins, she's living in constant fear. Her home is bugged, her phone is tracked, and her family is caught in the middle of Aiden's war with Blume, Damian Branks, and the city's criminal underworld. When Aiden says, "I'm not the vigilante, I'm just trying to protect my family," it's already too late. His actions have made Nicole a target. What's easy to miss is that Nicole represents the one thing Watch Dogs rarely talks about: the ordinary people crushed between technology and obsession. While Aiden uses ctOS as his weapon, Nicole becomes its victim. When she's kidnapped by Damian, it isn't just it's proof that no one, not even family, is safe in a world where data can expose anyone. Through her, the game shows that the real collateral damage of total surveillance isn't physical. It's psychological. Every time Aiden hacks into someone's phone, listens to a private conversation, or tracks a stranger's location, the game forces players to think about the line between protection and intrusion. But when that same invasion happens to Nicole, it hits differently. She's terrified of her own brother. Not because he's violent, but because she can no longer tell who he is. The man she once saw as her protector has become an extension of the very system he claims to fight. In one of the game's most emotional scenes, when Aiden finally rescues her, Nicole doesn't thank him. She asks him to stay away. That's the breaking point. It's not just about safety, it's about freedom. She refuses to live in the shadow of his paranoia and guilt. And that moment says more about Watch Dogs than any explosion or car chase. It's the cost of obsession. By the end, Aiden is left standing in the ruins of his own creation. He's alive, yes, but his family is gone. Emotionally, if not physically. Nicole moves away with her children, trying to rebuild a normal life, while Aiden drifts into isolation. And that's the quiet genius of Watch Dogs 1. It isn't just about hacking the city. It's about how vengeance consumes everything, even the people you're trying to protect. Nicole's story is a reminder that in Watch Dogs, no one escapes the system. Not the hackers, not the criminals, and not the innocent. Once you open that door, once you decide to control the data, it controls you right back. There's no Watch Dogs for its story of revenge and surveillance, but few ever stop to think about one of the most mysterious aspects of the game. The Blume Corporation's endgame. Behind Aiden Pearce's personal story, Blume wasn't just developing ctOS to monitor Chicago. They were building something far bigger, something that would redefine control across the globe. When we first encounter Blume in Watch Dogs 1, they appear to be a powerful tech company, a corporate face for the city's digital infrastructure. But as Aiden uncovers more, Blume's influence stretches far beyond what's seen on the surface. They're not simply collecting data, they're shaping behavior, profiling citizens, and even controlling government systems. This becomes especially apparent during the later missions, when Aiden infiltrates Blume's servers and discovers that Chicago was just the prototype, the testing ground for an international rollout of ctOS 2.0. This reveals a terrifying truth. Blume's real mission wasn't to protect people or make cities safer. It was to build a digital empire. Every phone call, camera, and transaction fed their system. They weren't just tracking crime. They were predicting it, manipulating outcomes, and selling that predictive data to those. What's chilling is that the player realizes just how dependent everyone has already become on the very system that's watching them. It's not a far-fetched science fiction idea. It mirrors real-world questions about surveillance capitalism and data privacy. Another overlooked aspect is how Blume manipulates its own employees. Engineers like Clara Lil believed they were creating something that could make society better, only to realize too late that they were working for a company with no moral limits. Blume hides its corruption behind innovation, recruiting the brightest minds, then quietly eliminating anyone who gets too close to the truth. Clara's story is tragic not just because of her personal guilt, but because it represents what happens when idealists are used by a system they helped create. Even the game's villain, Damien Branks, is a byproduct of Blume's ambition. His obsession with uncovering ctOS secrets stems from his exclusion from the company's inner circle. Once he realized how much data Blume controlled, his greed and paranoia took over. Yet, ironically, he became exactly what Blume wanted. Another person blinded by their thirst for power, feeding the cycle of manipulation. By the time the credits roll, Blume remains untouched. Aiden might expose part of their network, but the company continues to grow, expanding its reach globally. This ending subtly sets up Watch Dogs 2, where we see the consequences of Blume's unchecked dominance. But in Watch Dogs 1, the message is more intimate. Aiden wins his revenge, but the world still loses its freedom. The genius of Watch Dogs 1 lies in that realization. While we play as Aiden dismantling one conspiracy, a far greater one unfolds untouched. Blume isn't just the villain, it's the embodiment of modern control, showing that power doesn't always need guns or armies, it just needs your data. And by the end of the game, whether you realize it or not, they already have it.